Yo, what's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormybman for this Saturday, March 18th, 2023. We are here for the fight card that just wrapped up on Dazn. That was Joel Diaz Jr. taking on Mercito Hester. And that fight was originally the co-main event for tonight's broadcast, because the main event was supposed to be Gilberto Lardo Ramirez against Gabe Rosado. And that fight was canceled due to probably the most unprofessional decision that I had seen from a fighter going into a weigh-in. Ramirez decided to make cruiserweight instead of light heavyweight, thus canceling the fight after weighing in a blubbery 12 pounds over the 175 weight limit. Yeah. So this is how they do it in 2023 in professional boxing. To hell with the rules, huh? To hell with discipline. To hell with doing your part, huh? To me, it seems like the woke generation is quite fast asleep, y'all. In a coma, even, huh? Yeah! But anyway, a nice little touch-up, scrape between Diaz Jr. and Hester. Hester ended up with a unanimous decision over Joel Diaz. But as you have to disagree with the scorecards, because they had him running wildly away, though I had him up
the majority of the rounds myself, it was a difficult fight to score, hindsight being 2020, because though Hester was using some pretty good footwork in there, he was throwing a lot of pity-pat punches, not effective, clean, effective shots. And Diaz was coming on with those, though he hurt his hand earlier in the fight. So, with that being said, welcome everybody to the post-fight show. Glad to see everybody out there. Let's see who we got in the building. We got Chi-Town's finest who came in saying, blessings and love, Stormy. I have to be at the office in 5 hours, so I'll have to catch the replay. Blessings to the chat. Appreciate you, Chi-Town. Healer, the teacher, is out there saying, salute, Stormy. And Akello Nader is out there, just subscribed, it says, and I appreciate you. Okay, welcome to the Stormy B-Man channel. Shower Allah's back in the building. Good evening, Queen. She says, come in with the jab to the like button. Yeah. William Old School is out there saying, salute, my brother, and y'all smash the like button, people, when entering the building. Peace. Yeah. And Shower's also back in there with those channel emojis. I appreciate that. Who else we got out here? Let's see what we got. 88 Sports Talk in the building. What's good with you, 88? Saying, Stormy B-Man, salute family. 100. Yes, sir. Salute to you. Mangus Allen is back saying, what's up, man? Stopping through before bed. I got you. And let's see. We got my man Drew Titan, LLC, out there in that super chat. He says, I remember when people had Hester in the ring beating Broner at the height of the Pacquiao versus Floyd feud. Seems so long ago. Yeah, it does, right? Some of those people not even around, huh? They might have opened their eye, though, for tonight's fight. But, you know, they won't hang around. Now, seeing the dream, True Boxing Talk out there saying, salute, Stormy. I'm glad JoJo lost, was accused of some creepy things against a minor and arrested for child neglect. The media don't talk enough about it. Wow. I had heard something regarding children, but I didn't hear the full story. And at this time, I am not at liberty to talk about that. So, but I appreciate the heads up, huh? So we'll know when we don't hear more that there was more to hear, right? Yeah, don't mean to be with riddles, but that is something that may require a closer look. We got William out there in that super chat as well saying, for the collection plate, Stormy B-Man. Thank you, William. I appreciate you, brother. Trying to clear out. I got some messages that came through here. Trying to clear everything out. No Smoke Yave is out there saying, Sensei, LDBC or nothing. Kamara, the Stepping Razor, back saying, salute to the Sensei in the chat. Right back at you. And Rick Hill is out there saying, greetings, Stormy. Those commentators had Diaz winning the last 4 rounds. Ridiculous. I had him winning the final round, but it still was close. But the way I judged that final round, because I was looking at the effective punches that were landing in the midst and heat of what was going on, and a lot of the pity-pat stuff wasn't landing. His body punches were more solid. Head shots were solid. There were a couple of solid shots in there by Hester, but overall I had Hester winning the fight, which is what's most important there. So, but yeah, man, it was one of those situations where Diaz, listen, man, you can't cut corners in boxing. You have to be all in or all out. You can't be, you know, like in a wading pool, huh? Feet sticking in the water. You got to get in there and get wet, you know? And in boxing, the truth always comes out, man. When you're in there and you're in shape, you can do things. When you're out of shape, you can get injured. You can be injured even when you're in shape. But what I'm saying is, when you're conditioned and primed and ready to go, a lot of times injuries can happen and you can still even pull through them because your conditioning, which is a union of body and mind, by the way. It's not just how much you weigh, how ripped your abs are and everything, but it meant that you went through the necessary hardships during a camp for preparation for battle. And obviously, by the example set by both Lardo and Joel, hey, listen, they weren't prepared for this weekend. And salute to their opponents who were. I'm very sorry for Gabe Rosado, who's the consummate professional. He'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. And he comes to fight and he comes in shape. And he went through the entire situation, and they knew about this fight back in January. And the man still came in a blubbery, tubby 12 pounds over the weight limit. Unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. And I'm gonna ride that dude about that, because what it tells me about him is y'all see this? Y'all see this? Back to back. Back to back. They clip it. Back to back. But in the meantime, on my studio page, I've never lost signal. It says excellent connection. Wow. Wow. And I was talking before now, and it was saying that I was connected, and they still clipped it a second time right behind there. There's somebody out there doing this, y'all. There's somebody out there doing this. I did a post-fight show my Friday night chop session last night, no problem. None whatsoever. But they know people come here to watch. There's a good crowd that'll come in and watch the post-fight show because people want to talk and hear about the fights. So somebody is doing this. And they done found a way to go around and get into your system, because my internet is fine. My connection is fine. My analytic page with the studio never dropped anything. See, there was a time when I had my old laptop that it would buffer and stuff because the settings weren't right and the bit rates and all of that, but that's not the case here. We're not talking about bit rates here. This is something totally different. I experienced this once when I was doing the Three Wise Men of Boxing show with Kurt and Scrapbook. And one time they just cut us off the air. Just like that. Cut us off the air. I didn't lose power in my home. Didn't lose internet. Nothing. They just cut us off the air. We were still in the studio, so I just restarted a new stream. We were an hour into our show. That show usually went 2 hours. We were an hour into the show, like something like 45, almost 50 minutes. And they just cut us off the air. No explanation, nothing. I never heard back from YouTube when I put in a call, of asking what was what. Nobody ever got back to me. Those little bots and everything was, oh, if you got a problem, can you screenshot? Can you give us a? None of that. Didn't get any communication from them whatsoever. But Drew, you know how you say about them car fires? I hope that yeah, on their way to or from wherever they go to do this. Yeah. How about that? Car fire.
I left your ass blowing in the breeze. Shh, don't you ever.
That's dedicated to the person that interrupts the stream. Yeah, how about that? You're welcome. Yeah. Anyway, back to what I was trying to say about Lardo being 12 pounds over. And you're right, Drew. He had no intention of making weight. Maybe he thought that Gabe would be a fool and say, well, I'm still fight you, huh? But Gabe was smart enough to turn that down. So I'm glad he turned it down. You know? Salute to Drew Titan back in the super chat with the laughing emojis. Yeah, man. Yeah. You know how we do it, right? You know how we do it. Here we go. We got Learn here making some preposterous statements. What's good with you, Learn? Salute to you. Yeah. I was just trying to get caught up here. Rick Hill, let me tell you and let you in on a little secret. He was having some problems, issues before the Bivol fight. In fact, getting arrested for being drunk and throwing bottles out of a window at police down in Mexico. That was before the Bivol fight. Now, if you were to ask me, which you didn't, but I'll give my opinion anyway, I think that he has a brain the size of a mustard seed, huh? And that there's not a lot of intelligence going on there. And he's gonna end up in a bad way, whether it's outside the ring or in the ring, because there's something lacking there. And the C word comes to mind: character. That promise made in that statement about it will never happen again or whatever, it'll happen the very next time out, bro, when you're dealing with somebody like him. I've seen this before. But see, Just like before I got interrupted on this stream, I was going to speak on that by saying tough love is the way to handle these people, these privileged, undenied, participation trophy generation people that are not held to any type of standard or accountability. Send them home. Let their own families deal with them. They're not welcome in our society. They're not welcome on our places of employment, at the grocery store. Send them home. Let them stay in your basements or your attics or in their own nasty bedrooms that they don't clean up, playing video games and being on social media for 24/7, 365. Because they contribute nothing to the world. You see this foolishness, man? Do you see this foolishness? Unfreaking believable. Now, I was never real great at math. I was good in the literary arts and reading and stuff like that, composition, all of that. But math wasn't my strongest point, right? I can count, you know. But I'm going to ask you guys something. You tell me whether or not this matches up. If you could see how many people that it says are watching currently, write it in the chat for me, please. If you could see the number that it says concurrent viewers, or how many are watching presently, please just write it in the chat. Just write it in the chat. $704 Joe, salute to you, brother. Appreciate it. Check this out. And it says 27 likes. Okay? It's usually right around there because somebody might leave as soon as you start. You know, they hear me say that, you know, they might leave, or you might get somebody just come into the building. But check this out. It says on mine, like some of you are writing 28. It says on mine 25. Mine is probably more accurate than yours. But what I'm getting at is this. You see that number that you've written in the chat, and you see how many likes that it says? Now guess how many views I got? 106. 106. You mean only 20% out of who's viewed this show thus far? Only that number is my supporters? The math ain't mathing, people. And they've clipped my stream 3 times, and I've only been live. For not yet 30 minutes. No shower. No. That number that I just gave you about the views is what it is. Now, when the show ends, if that number is still right there, that's what it will be. When you upload your content, what it says on the page to everyone else will be less until it all catches up. But what I have here as the content creator, that's live. This is why I talk about it. See, I want you guys to have an understanding. The math ain't mathing. You know what doesn't happen on a lot of channels is them coming in early in your stream, clipping you so that they can stop the progress. Because your real supporters, they can hang tight. But people who are just coming to check you out, they say, oh, this is buffering over here. Oh, it's something wrong with this stream. And they keep it moving. That's just like them trying to tell you when you're in part of the AdSense program, you go live with a monetized stream, and when you finish it, they stick an ad limitation on it, and you have to request a review. But it's going to take them at least 3 days, if not more, to tell you that, oh, okay, your content is suitable for all advertisers or whatever. But haven't people already watched it now? So the ad isn't really making the money or whatever because the people have watched it. The people who are really going to watch it going to watch it early, before 3 days. Now, see, I didn't want to have to take my show in this direction, but I'm saying this to you all because I want you all to understand. There are reasons that we ask you to smash the like button. There are reasons that we ask you to do your due diligence because there is a concerted, concentrated effort to minimize the prosperity of the community. I've been on the air now 30 minutes. And for 15 of the 30 minutes, I've been dealing with them interrupting my stream. And now discussing this with you all when I was rolling right into why I do the post-fight show. How do you think that makes me feel? But even greater still, how should that make you feel when you know that this is being purposely done? Some of you were here before I even went live. You were waiting in the chat. And that's much appreciated. But you weren't waiting around to see my show get clipped and interrupted. Shawa, I can understand that, what you're saying. But understand the consistency of how I've done things. The only reason I mention this is because something's not right. I'm not arguing with you. Please understand that. I'm educating you because you all need to know these things. You know, when 78 does a regular live stream during the week, sometimes he could get 200, 300, 400 people in there, right? And that's great. That's like, you know, kind of his numbers that he does. Those are the numbers that I do on my post fight. But they're not giving it to me. That's theft. And if they interrupt my stream, that make people drop off. That's theft. And guess who they're stealing from? They're actually stealing from the ad partners because they take a percentage. YouTube takes a percentage of super chats, which is why we encourage you to also hit the Cash App or the PayPal. On my channel, I have that. Some other brothers and sisters on their channels, they have different cash donation options. But that is to be fair, a way of making certain that you're taken care of properly. Anyway, back to the fight, okay? It's really a pain in the ass. That third round, Diaz really got after it with Hester, and that's a candidate for round of the year. Those guys were near the ropes battling, and it was ebb and flow, back and forth, punch for punch. And that may have also been when Joe hurt his hand. And he talked to his corner in between rounds. He was still trying to use it, but don't know to what degree he hurt it. But he couldn't sustain that type of activity with one hand. And his trainer told him at one point, what you can do is you can feint like you're throwing the left and then come back with the hook. Because they were both southpaws too, which was interesting. You don't see that a lot, but it happens to see both fighters being southpaws in there. It was a good battle between southpaws. So it was a good battle. I don't know what's next for Hester. I know he's 35 now, something like that. And his best days are probably behind him. I don't see him beating any other champion. So it remains to be seen what happens there. Now, on the undercard of that super lightweight type fight between Oscar Duarte and Alex Martin was interesting. It had a sudden death ending. Martin hails from Chicago. I'm familiar with Martin. I saw him. I want to say when his record was more like 7-0 or something like that. I was in one of the gyms and the coach introduced me to the guy. And he was like, "Oh, this is a young lightweight, you know, he's coming up." his dreads weren't as long at that time, but I remember seeing him. I was like, that's a skinny kid right there. But I hadn't followed his career or anything, so when I saw him enter the ring tonight, I was like, I know that kid. I've seen him. I met him. And here he goes with that doggone shoulder roll. He boxed just like Floyd Mayweather Sr. If anybody watched Floyd Mayweather Sr. when he was a professional fighter, Martin boxes just like him. Duarte got very tired in the 5th round. And I was saying, like, oh, if Martin is smart, he'd go to the body and start peppering him with shots and moving. But he kept backing up near the ropes with that arm down, that left hand down. I do not like when guys do that. He was complaining about getting hit in the back, but he kept turning his back. Salute to Oscar Duarte, who mercilessly ended this fight in the 8th round with a KO. A great shot that came during an exchange that hit Martin right on the chin and dropped him like a bad. Wow. That's 4 times, people. 4 times. 4 times. And Shower, that's what I'm talking about. That's what the intent is. That's to do that to me on purpose. With purpose. It's still reading excellent connection in my studio, but the image box where my screen is, as far as showing me, it says an error occurred. Please try again later. What the hell? Now, all I did was refresh the page and it's back, but it always said excellent connection. So it's not supposed to be disconnecting you guys. It's not. $211 views now, but it never went up over 40, over 30 plus in the watching stat. Concurrent viewers never went up over 40, but I got 40 likes. Hey Drew, that's 4 times, brother. 4 times. And you have to understand, when that happens, I'm in the mid-conversation, I'm talking about something, then I gotta wait and everything, and I lose my train of thought because I get upset. All of this is just, I mean, come on, man. Shower, he's from the Philippines. They were touting him as the new Manny Pacquiao when he was a few years younger. You know what, guys, as much as I would like to go on with the show this evening, this has really got to me this evening because I came in with a different spirit. I really did. But to know how they playing with me tonight, I'm going to have to file some kind of complaint with the people, YouTube, because this is bullshit. I'm sitting up here looking at everything, and somebody out there is doing this, and they're getting away with it for now. They're getting by, but this is not going to persist. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Fuck YouTube.